to So That Reminds Me, Reminder Publishing's podcast on Western Mass News. I'm Chris Mazza.
I'm Dennis Hackett.
And I'm Ryan Fair.
And we'll be your hosts for this episode. So for today's episode, with the Super Bowl coming up, and of course it being very exciting with our New England Patriots being in the Super Bowl, we thought that it would be appropriate to think about some of the ideal Super Bowl snacks, and the first thing that really came to mind for most of us was wings. So, and we are blessed with a fair amount of good wing places in the area. So we're going to be talking about some of the best places around to get your wings. And this isn't necessarily a review or anything like that. These are just some suggestions for people while they're looking for where they're going to get their game day foods. So these are just a few areas that are, food for thought, pardon the pun.
Yeah.
And before we get into that, I want to welcome in Dennis and Ryan. Obviously, we had an exciting weekend, not only with the Patriots making it to the Super Bowl, but then us getting dumped on with an ungodly amount of snow, with the possibility of more coming. But hopefully, we'll keep our fingers crossed that one misses us, because I don't know where I'm going to put any more snow.
No. And I was seeing stuff that people are going to have to probably start clearing their roofs off too. I guess that it's kind of at the point where if we got any more snow, because I feel like most of us have in that 18-ish, maybe a little less range. But I was seeing online that I guess beyond 2 feet of snow, you want to get that cleared because of the weight. So
yeah,
something to be mindful of, I guess.
Yeah. What's concerning is I feel like the past few years, when we had a little snowstorm, it would melt. We'd get a few mild days after, and it would kind of melt, and it'd be this little cycle. It doesn't look like we're going to have any melting anytime soon.
No,
if you
the
look
cold
at the forecast. It's 20s and teens the next week and a half. And then like Chris was saying, there's the possibility of another storm on Sunday. Hopefully it passes us. So it's just, it's just going to keep piling on. And, we'll see. I wonder, I always I remember when I was a kid, there'd be years where by St. Patrick's weekend, there's a snowbank. You're just sitting on the snowbank during the parade. And I have a feeling this is going to be one of those years for people to enjoy the parade.
Now, none of us are meteorologists, nor do we play them on TV, but you're absolutely right. It's been absolutely frigid to go along with all of this, which I think impacted a lot of the removal and even the impacts on travel right off the bat, because it was cold before the snow. So the snow, as soon as it started flying, started sticking immediately. So there wasn't any kind of chance for a lot of pre-treating or anything, because what good was it going to do? So glad that everybody has been able to stay safe for the most part. I think that, obviously there's been a varying response to how cleanup has been from town to town. Even it seems like from section of town to section of town. And keep in mind, everybody, that this is a lot of snow. It's hard to move. It's hard to find places to put it. And there's really going to be no ideal situation. I would also say be careful around intersections, because there's really a lack of visibility, seeing around corners and things like that. So when you're approaching streets, use some caution just to avoid,
I was thinking this morning, we hadn't gotten a snowstorm like this since I got my car. And I'm used to, previously with snowstorms, I was either in a truck or a Jeep. So I didn't have that issue with the corners. And I was coming down Main Street on a Summers Road in Hampden. I was just holy crap, I can't see over the snowbank at the food mart there. Yeah.
The other thing, too, is the snow is so high that it's blocking some of the sensors on street lights or on traffic lights. So my street, when I was driving out the other day, I think now it's good, but the day after the storm, it took me 5 minutes. It was I literally had to I was just waiting there for 5 minutes for something to happen. And it's just, at one point I just turned around because I was like, I got to go the highway way. This isn't going to work, because the traffic signal would just not change to green, because I think the snow is blocking the signal. So, or the sensor when you pull up. So there's that too, that people have to be aware of, but yeah.
All right. So before we get into our major wing discussion, we of course are talking about what's been one of the major storylines of the past week, which has been the snow. But let's talk about some of the things that we have either been covering or our teams have been covering that have been noticeable, and what's news for Western Mass this week. Who wants to start?
I can. I know for me personally, my team, Tyler has been covering a lot in Holyoke that's been happening. I guess most recently, and Chris has been following this closely too. The Blessed Sacrament School is set to close at the end of the school year after being in the community for over a century. It's a pre-K through 8th grade school, and it was announced in a letter that they were closing at the end of the year due to financial struggles, just a decrease in attendance over the past several years. And there seems to be some, like the Parent Teachers Guild from the school, they seem to not be too thrilled with the closing based on the statement they sent to us. It seemed like there was a path to kind of escape this kind of turmoil that the school is facing, but clearly, it was just kind of too much to handle, it seems like. So that's been kind of the big story on our end. And there's, been a couple other things going on in Holyoke. The Veterans Home, the auditor found state regulation violations that were from the pandemic, when nearly 80 veterans died during the pandemic. So there's that too. The auditor's office released this report that found multiple deficiencies during that time period within the facility and gaps in emergency preparedness. So that was a long report that Tyler reported on that's on the Reminder Publishing website as well. So lots been going on in Holyoke specifically on my end.
Yeah, I just wanted to touch on the Blessed Sacrament thing. I saw that this morning when I was looking through for stories. And it just reminds me, like, that was one of the places we always played basketball growing up. Like, whenever we did like travel basketball in like middle school and stuff, I remember going there quite a bit. So it was just something that, came to mind when I
have a large Irish family, and I think like half my cousins went there. So,
yeah.
So it is a big deal for the Holyoke community, it seems like.
Well, I can't say, it's a big deal. And I mean, we've seen Catholic schools, closing and consolidating for quite some time now. I mean, the St. Michael's Academy exists because they consolidated a bunch of the Springfield schools, I believe, like Holy Cross, Our Lady of Sacred Heart. There were a bunch of them in Springfield that all consolidated into St. Michael's Academy. You had the Holyoke Catholic merger with with Cathedral to make Pope Francis. So this has been an ongoing issue, an ongoing concern. And the big thing is, the parishes are the ones who are funding these schools. It's not the diocese. These Blessed Sacrament, you look at St. Mary's in Westfield, wherever it is, these are, or there's also St. Mary's in Longmeadow. These are not diocesan funded. These are funded by the tuition that the parents are paying to send their kids there and subsidized by the parish. So it is one of those things where they kind of they're operating under the diocese, but they also have like local concerns, so it's kind of an interesting dynamic here. And so if there was a path for the diocese to help out, I mean, I think it would have happened a long time ago. But I think that there's this misconception that the diocese is sitting on this load of money that, they can just do this, and save schools. And it's just not the way that it is. So it's a very tough thing for that population, the school population, whether you're talking about the kids and parents who are trying to find new places to put their kids. You're talking about educators who are now looking for new work. Some of them have been there for a long time. The woman who took over this school year, the principal had passed away. And the woman who took over as the interim has been working there for decades as a teacher, you know? So, you know, there's a lot of impacts here, both, you know, in terms of, you know, both from the school community, the parish community, because the parish identifies that school as, you know, part of its identity.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think that people absolutely have, I don't want to gatekeep people's feelings. Everybody has the right to feel that the way that they do. And a lot of times that can feel like anger, can feel like betrayal. I just wonder how dire the situation had to be for the decision to come this, you know, this abruptly, especially if there had been these kinds of discussions previously.
Yeah, and to, you know, just to note, like the Tyler reached out to the parish and they didn't respond, but I mean, it seemed like, to your point, Chris, I mean, the teacher guild statement, they said that there was like a soiree coming up, a golf tournament. You know, they were told $100,000 have been raised for the school, but like you said, like we don't really know how dire this situation was. Like that probably couldn't have been enough. Like who knows? So yeah, it's just, I'm sure this is something that Tyler and we'll continue to follow throughout the year. You know, as more things arise or, you know, more news comes out of it, I'm sure. So.
Not to belabor this, but also granted, you have these fundraisers and such, you raise over $100,000. This is very commendable. Yeah. How sustainable is that year after year?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
It's really the same discussion we had a lot with those ESSER funds where people were warned, do not use these for recurring expenses like salaries and things like that. And how many school districts use them on things like salaries and then had to cut positions. So, so I think that's part of the consideration too, is sure, we've got this one lump sum of funding, which would have been great if we had capital projects that needed to be done. But it's different when you've got, you know, the biggest liability likely is paying the staff.
Yeah.
So. Anyway, we've got a lot of other news.
I know. And the thing you kind of top that all off is everywhere health insurance stuff has been going up, so I'm sure that's a huge thing with that school as well. But yeah, so looking at some of the stuff my team worked on the past week or so, we're kind of continuing with our look aheads. Sarah sat down with Mayor Sarno last week. Peter slated to talk to Representative Ash and Tom Christensen over in East Longmeadow as well this week. So those are underway, and the ones that we have are up on the website as well. One thing I did want to touch on, not necessarily a story, but something that Debbie Gardner had put together last week, is a list of all the warming centers in the area. I did just want to shout that out, obviously, because these cold weather temperatures are expected to, you know, continue into next week at least, with lows on like either side of 0 degrees. So we definitely want people to know where they can go for that sort of thing. And then last week, Sarah also did a story. She connected with the district attorney's office to talk about some of the youth outreach programs that they do, and I thought that was an interesting story. Obviously, it's very different now than, like she mentions in the article, the Scared Straight kind of policies and programs that they did in the 90s, but now it's very much kind of youth outreach. Like, I mean, obviously we worked with Peyton and Lauren, so we get all their press releases and everything, but it seems like every week there's something where the district attorney is speaking to a school, or someone from the office is doing like their online safety outreach programs with the kids that really connect with them, obviously, with social media, gaming, and stuff like that. So that was another big one. And then Sarah was at the Martin Luther King Day celebration that they did in Springfield on last Monday. And yeah, that was just another one of those where it was just, you know, great that we kind of still celebrate these things. And surprisingly, the lieutenant governor showed up at the Springfield one. I wasn't sure that she was going to, based on the schedule I saw that day, but that was nice to see that, you know, kind of the bigger statewide contingent was out here. But yeah.
Yeah, and some of the things that caught my attention this week and recently that we've been covering. Dennis, when we were talking about Blessed Sacrament, you mentioned health insurance being a thing. One of the things that I took notice of recently that Cliff Clark has been covering was the town of Southwick actually just approved at their town meeting the ability for the town to cover more than the state minimum for health insurance. Now, the state minimum is 50%. So employees working for the town of Southwick currently are paying 50% of their like healthcare premiums, which is
that's got to be
outrageous.
Like a silly number. Right?
Yeah, it's a crazy number. I mean, basically, if you take a job that pays the same from one community, going to Southwick, you're taking a pay cut essentially.
Yeah.
So, and really, it's an outlier in the state of Massachusetts. So, that was something that struck me when Cliff first told me this is what they do, and it seems that the voters in town are recognizing that it's important to make sure for not only taking care of your employees from a larger philosophical standpoint, there's also the practical standpoint of this is how we attract good people to work here, this is how we retain good workers, and so I guess kudos to them for at least opening up this discussion and allowing the town to negotiate these new a new system that will work better for employees of the town. The other one that stood out to me, Cliff Clark also took the lead on this, was that Nick Boldyga is going to have a challenger for his third Hampden District seat. Now, Boldyga is one of the few Republican members of the House of Representatives, especially out here. Now, he's also got some conservative support out here in Kelly Pease as well. But Tom Hendrickson, who's an Agawam city councilor, he's also been a consultant on some campaigns, announced that he is going to be running against Boldyga. I just saw his paperwork to form his committee was submitted, so he is officially official now. But he really is saying, hey, the constituents, especially in Agawam that he represents on the city council, don't feel like they're seen, and they don't feel like they get response from Boldyga. So it'll be interesting to see how this all shapes out, because now Boldyga is from Southwick. He's been in office for a while. Agawam is really on the easternmost part of this district, and then the rest of it goes further west. And there's certainly a much larger conservative base out there. So I'll be very interested to see how this shifts, because there could even be Republicans, who share this sentiment that Hendrickson is putting out there, that Boldyga does not exhibit the responsiveness that constituents would like. That may or may not be a partisan issue. I would think that it wouldn't be, but we've seen time and time again that partisanship gets in the way sometimes.
Yeah.
So
with how many people have asked, are they a Republican or a Democrat anytime we do a story? So
and Hendrickson is interesting because he is kind of he joined the city council in 2022, and he is kind of an outlier on the council in the sense where there's a lot of veterans on this council, a lot of people that have been there for years and years and years. So it's interesting, to see someone who, I think he's only like a year younger than me, so I actually went to high school with him. So it's interesting to see someone come out from Agawam, which is more of like I think older population, really try to make his name at the state level. I know he's been very active. He wanted to bring, I remember I did a story where he wanted to bring the Municipal Fiber Task Force back to Agawam, because that was a big discussion for a while that kind of got put to the back burner for multiple reasons. And there's other big things happening in Agawam with the Agawam High School project and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to see kind of Hendrickson's approach over the coming months, and when the debates come and all that.
Yeah, one thing I think will be interesting too is Cliff mentioned this in the article that he asked about the single taxpayer system or healthcare system, I believe it was, but because that seems like it could be a partisan issue because Cliff had gotten quotes from Boldyga that kind of painted this as a very socialist, like very, very left-leaning system. So I think that'll be a interesting clash to watch and see how people react to it.
All right, so before we get into our main topic of the week, we are going to pause for a couple brief messages.
We get it. You're busy, but you want to be connected to your local community. If you're not reading The Reminder, Western Mass's free weekly newspaper, you're missing out on the heartbeat of your town. Stay in the loop with all the latest buzz, from local stories to community updates and exciting events. It's all in The Reminder. Just log on to thereminder.com and dive into the hometown news you love. To subscribe to receive The Reminder at your home, call 413-788-1316. Don't miss a beat. Your town, your stories, your community for over 60 years. The Reminder. We are hometown news.
This January, Prime Magazine is all about connection. In our social issue, we explore how staying connected with family and friends can help you live longer, healthier, and happier. Discover the best apps and websites to meet people who share your passions. Learn how volunteering can help open new doors. And get tips for planning a multi-generational getaway that brings everyone together. We'll even show you how to turn your next workout into a fun social activity, because fitness is always better with friends. And if you're an advertiser looking to reach the over 45 market, contact sales manager Scott Green at 413-525-6695. Prime, your best life now. And we're back. So kind of the premise behind this was we didn't want to do kind of a comparison of places. We just wanted to highlight some of the places that we enjoy, that we had the opportunity to try. And for some of us, it was rediscovering places that we had been previously. Some of it was trying some new places. And really, we just wanted to kind of give a little bit of a cross-section of the different wing options that you could go with as you're preparing for your Super Bowl Sunday festivities. Whether you are a New England sports fan or not, heck, I know people who aren't sports fans at all. Super Bowl parties.
It's the commercials, the halftime.
So we did kind of spread out, and we each did our own kind of thing. So the three of us each tried some places. We also had some input from Peter Toohey, who's our East Longmeadow area reporter. And we also had Tyler, who we hoped would be on the podcast with us, but he had something that he had to go cover in Chicopee today. So they were both good enough to write up their reviews for us. So I will take a swing at reading Tyler's review here, and then if one of you guys want to take on
I'll give Peter's
we can go right through these. So Grapevine Pizzeria and Restaurant in Longmeadow was one of the places that we tried, and Tyler went there, and he said, I ordered 10 hot honey barbecue wings from Grapevine Pizzeria and Restaurant in Longmeadow. As soon as I picked up my online order, I was excited to try these wings as I could smell the flavor from outside the container in the bag they came in. Always a good sign. The size of the wings were awesome, with a nice mix of drums and flats. Okay, I'm gonna.
I was about to.
Are we drums people or flats people? Where do we fall in this?
Drums, definitely drums.
Okay, so we're all,
because you got like that handle, you know what I mean? You can hold it easier. It's a little less messier. I mean, it's still messy, but
I feel like on top, like when it comes to if I have a buffalo wing, I'm a blue cheese guy. There's another debate that we could have, blue cheese or ranch. But either way, I find that the drums are easier for dipping.
That's the thing for me with them is it's easier for dipping. But I'll never forget in college, the this girl I was kind of seeing at the time, and things weren't going great. She subtweeted me, literally getting so annoyed with me that I liked drums instead of flats out of nowhere.
Wow.
It was crazy. It was one of the craziest things that's happened in that type of situation.
I honestly think that's one of the reasons why my wife Eileen and I work so well is I'm a drums person, she's a flats person, so we can kind of separate it out, and
and that was
get what we want.
Yeah, that's true.
That was how I thought we were, but apparently not. It was a situation that was really funny.
For some people, that's the line in the sand, I guess. Okay, so let's see. Let's continue. I really enjoyed the flavor and was happy with the amount of sauce that were on the wings. The sweetness of the barbecue and hot honey element went good together, as neither of the flavor profiles outshined the other. The wings weren't too hot or too sweet. I would have liked the wings to be a little bit crispier, but I also did have to wait 30 minutes after picking them to eat them. All right, fair enough.
So Tyler, all right, I like that. Balancing it.
I like that you could ask for them well done, which is how I prefer them to be cooked. Other flavors include buffalo, barbecue, honey barbecue, or plain. Unfortunately, you could not mix or match, so I decided to go with the honey hot barbecue, and I was happy with my choice. Also came with celery and blue cheese and or ranch.
Can't mix and match.
That's I feel like that's a detractor a little bit.
I wonder if now this is supposition on my part. I don't know. I have not tried grapevine, but I wonder if the size of the order matters, because you said they got 10 wings. Yeah. So if you were to get a
like a sampler,
yeah. You could mix.
Could have been a separate item or something, on the menu.
All right, so if you are in that area, grapevine sounds like a good option.
I definitely might have to swing by and get the hot honey barbecue wings. Those sound very good. I've been ever since I discovered the hot honey. I'm going to talk about the pizza shop here in a second, but ever since I discovered the hot honey chicken pizza they had there, hot honey has been like one of my things, but. So I'll have to give that a try. But yeah. So here's what Peter's got from over at the pizza shop in East Longmeadow. He said, I tried the mild wings at the pizza shop, and I will say it was one of the best wings I've had in a long time. It was my first time at the pizza shop, so I was excited to see the wings are hefty and were filling, making a real bang for your buck. I'm usually an as spicy as possible person, but I settled for mild so I could get the best judge of flavor. The meat fell right off the bone, and there was not a bone in the batch left unfinished. The blue cheese also added a delicious extra touch to complete. I know a big part about wings is the mess factor, but I'm not always a huge fan of that, and the pizza shop's mild wings added a minimal mess for a delicious and tender flavor in return. I'll be back to try out the hot and barbecue wings soon. Yeah.
Shout out to Pizza Shop. I haven't had their wings yet, but I love their pizza. Their pizza, the sweet crust. I know we've had it here multiple times. I've had it off the clock multiple times. So I gotta try their wings too. I'm sure they're just as good.
Yeah, I really like like Tyler mentioned in his review, they're crispier wings. Mm-hmm. So that's definitely a plus in my book as well.
Mm-hmm. Now I'll readily admit that I'm not as big a fan of the sweet crust. It's just, but when I polled some people, both inside the building and outside that I know who, and multiple people recommended the pizza shop, for the wings. Mm-hmm. And so, we've got the ringing endorsement from Peter here, and I can say that the reputation both inside this building and out is very strong.
Oh, yeah. People love the pizza shop, no matter what you're getting, whether it's a grinder, pizza, wings. Yeah. It's all good.
Iconic establishment here in East Longmeadow.
Yeah. Great bar space, too.
Yeah, great bar space for sure. Yeah. A lot of TVs if you want to watch stuff.
Place is always packed.
It's always packed.
It is.
Yeah.
Which in and of itself speaks to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. Big fan.
All right, so now we can get into what we tried. Mm-hmm. And so who wants to kick us off?
Dennis, I can start. Yeah. Why not? So to preface this, Brickhouse Tavern, Indian Orchard, that's where I went. That's also one of my parents' favorite restaurants. So there's been many a time where we've gotten takeout from there, specifically the wings. Usually it's been the buffalo or the garlic wings that they have, which are both great choices. But for my taste testing, like we had just mentioned with not being able to get multiple wings with an order, at Brickhouse you can. So what I did was it was a 10-piece order. Half of it I got the Cajun rub, which is pretty good. And then I also got their Carolina Tangy Gold, which is like a sweet and tangy mustard with honey barbecue. Just to start this off, the Carolina Tangy Gold, by far my favorite.
Wow.
It's so good. I love that like secret sauce secret in quotes,
quote unquote,
that everybody does with the honey mustard and the barbecue. Just a great combination. Kind of brought me back to my 99 days because I'd always get the gold fever wings that they had there.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
those were always a good choice for me. And came with blue cheese. I kind of want to get into the blue cheese ranch debate just a little bit when we get to that. But for me personally, I like both. I'm not like I hate one, love the other. Both are pretty good. I like ranch, I think, a little bit more, but I don't know.
I got a twist, honestly, on that. I like neither, to be honest. At least for wings. Like celery. It's funny, like celery, like carrots. When they give you that, like I'll dip it in that. But as far as wings go, give me all the heat.
Yeah,
that's what I like, honestly, personally.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely a blue cheese kind of guy. Now, if I were at a party and they had ranch, I'm not gonna be like, yeah. But if I have a choice between the two, I'm choosing the blue cheese. I think it just adds a little something extra in terms of flavor.
That's what I would choose too.
Unlike, I'm not somebody who goes for like the super heat. And when I'm looking at, I'll only use ranch or blue cheese on a buffalo wing. Like they offer it with other wings too, and I've never quite understood that because the idea, from my understanding, is it's supposed to cut some of the heat.
Yeah.
But I'm somebody who wants a wing that it can be hot, but it's got to be flavorful too. Like I like some of the wings that I've seen is just like it's like afterburner or fuel or and it's just like, how do you taste anything other than just like the heat?
Yeah.
I
think the afterburner is the one my dad goes for when he goes to what used to be Wings Over the Hangar, but he likes it really hot.
I don't understand the enjoyment in it, to be honest, when it's just heat like hitting your mouth. It's like you're a masochist or something at that point.
I'm truly someone who I'll get like the regular hot.
Yeah, exactly.
And that'll make me sweat.
Yeah.
So, there are some people that have a higher tolerance for that too.
Yeah.
But there are times where people look over at me and be like, "Are you okay?" It's just not having a heart attack. It's just spicy.
Well, and then speaking of that, that's kind of why I went for the kind of sweeter side with the Carolina Tangy Barbecue too, or Tangy Gold, just because I do like the hot wings, but I also like trying different things with wings because usually, I don't know, people put their own spin on them and you're usually pretty good. But just to kind of run through some of the other flavors they have that I did not try, they have ranch, lemon pepper, which seems like a big pop off right now, I guess. I saw some headline the other day that Georgia's trying to make lemon pepper like their wing flavor for their state. So that was interesting. Kind of funny that I'm looking up wing places and then an article like that comes up, but you know how that goes. Obviously, they have buffalo. They have a jalapeno and honey, Old Bay, teriyaki, sweet chili, mango habanero, buffayaki, and General Tso's. And you can, like I said, you can get a sampler of 2. But then one thing I also had to try that kind of goes as a good companion to the wings, I feel like, is the tater tots that they have at Brick House. So they have these different specialty tater tots you can get, whether it's their garlic tots, cheesy tots, they have steak tots or buffalo chicken ones. I wanted to kind of like emulate like what you would have at like a Super Bowl kind of party where it's like, it's not just wings. Here's wings, here's tater tots. And I went for their cheesy tots, which was like a black sea salt, or like a black truffle sea salt with garlic and Parmesan cheese on it. And it also came with like a cheese fondue that was supposed to be hot, and I didn't realize that because I went and picked it up, obviously, so they didn't give me a wicked hot thing of fondue in a plastic cup to go. But I kind of just dipped it in like it was a beer cheese with the tater tots, and it was pretty good. I'm not going to lie.
Wow.
But yeah, and I kind of want to emulate the experience of like, obviously if you're going somewhere to get wings and food, it's not, you're going to have to reheat it yourself.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
that was what I kind of did.
Yeah. No, it looks good. I've never been. I'm looking at the website now. I mean, they have some great photos here. There's one of like ribs that I'm like just staring at right now.
Yeah.
So this seems like an elite place. I gotta go check that out.
It is really good. I haven't been there in a while, but every time I drive by, I'm like, I gotta go there.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
Yeah, it doesn't help that we're on getting close to lunchtime now. So
No,
we're talking about food.
Too close. Yeah, a little too close. But yeah, it's not going to help. I mean, I'm so happy I'm able to come on here and gush about the place I went to, or I go to all the time, Rail Trail in Southwick. You know, just to preface, if you were to like put a gun to my head and ask me my like favorite restaurant was in the area, I'd probably say Rail Trail. Been going since I was young. I used to go with family all the time to watch football when it was called like Skybox back in the day. And you know, despite like the name change, it's very much the same thing. It's this very like warm and welcoming like bar and restaurant, very much like embedded within kind of the like ambiance of Southwick. You know, like there's this small like towny liquor store across the way. There's a bunch of like, you know, houses that are kind of tucked away, and there's like woods everywhere. So it's just very like rustic quality to it. That everything kind of there's like a rustic quality to everything that surrounds the restaurant. But the restaurant's like this beacon of light, man. There's like this TVs inside. You can watch sports. Great place to watch Sunday. If you're looking for a place to even watch the Super Bowl, great place to watch it. The owners are diehard fans, and they're just super nice and welcoming. There's just very homegrown, artisanal kind of, you know, ambiance to the place. But the wings, I think, reflect that really well. You know, I think their wings are some of the best in the area because, you know, there's some places I go to where like there's not enough like meat on the bone, but the sauce is pretty good. And then there's like other places where there's like a lot of meat on the bone, but the sauce isn't great. This like hits on all cylinders. You know, there's like there's very thick wings. There's like a nice little like char to them. And they're very generous with the sauce too, so it's a very filling meal. I always personally get the buffalo wings. Those are my favorite. They're called Wicked Wings on the menu, and they are. And just one thing I wanted to note is I don't know if they do this. This is the same thing they do with the wings, but their tenders, they marinate them in what's called this like everyday dressing that they keep overnight. And then they dredge them in eggs and breadcrumbs. So I think like the seasoning is able to seep in. I'm not sure if that's what they do with their wings, but I have a feeling that is because like the seasoning, it's not only on top of like the coating, it's also inside. So every bite is just really, you know, flavorful. So and it does kind of embody that rustic feel that I was kind of talking about earlier. So if you're looking for a place to watch the Super Bowl with a crowd or eat some wings, you can get a takeout as well. I think Rail Trail's the place. It's always been one of my favorites. So check it out. Yeah.
Find somebody who talks about you the way that Ryan talks about you.
Yeah, I love Rail Trail, man. It's elite, you know. it's you know, I've been going since I was a kid, so and never missed a beat. Never had a bad meal there, to be honest. So,
all right. So I went to the Hangar, and now at this point, the Hangar is basically a local chain. Now I remember, I'm old enough to remember back in the day, the original Hangar in the old building across from the entrance to the University of Massachusetts before they moved across the street to where its Amherst location is now. And since then, they merged with Amherst Brewing Company, and there's been a lot of change in that restaurant. But I can say that one thing that has remained is they still have good quality wings. I really enjoy the variety that they offer. Eileen and I and Megan, by the way, Megan is into chicken wings too. Now she's not into buffalo or anything like super spicy, but you know, the fact that we can go somewhere and she'll and she's excited about getting into chicken wings. God bless this girl. She's into chicken wings. She likes ribs. It's
That's
great,
good. That's good to have that when she's so young too.
Yeah, right.
Like,
But
when kids are sometimes like, I just want chicken fingers and mac and cheese or something.
now she still wants.
Oh yeah.
Still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny thing is, she's not a big chicken fingers person. Like but she's never really been into that.
Just
but
the fine dining.
Yeah. So, there's another discussion about what her favorite places to eat are, and she's got expensive taste. But, when we went to, I went with my wife and daughter to the hangar. And we got a sampler. We got one of their larger plates that would, feed multiple people. I forget the name of it. They all have, airplane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like paper airplane. Yeah.
But basically, we were able to get 4 different wings. So we got the cruising altitude, which is basically like their standard buffalo. We got their mango habanero. We got their garlic parm, and we got I believe it was Cajun teriyaki. And those, so those were the 4 that we got. We kind of got a cross section of some different things. And I'm a big fan of their mango habanero. I'm a big fan of that sweet and spicy kind of thing. Very, very similar to kind of like a barbecue with hot honey.
Yeah.
But mango habanero was kind of like that before that. So I've always been a fan of that. Definitely hits the spot every time. I would say that their cruising altitude is pretty much your standard buffalo wing.
Yeah, it's
mild,
it's
very,
pretty
very
pretty no frills.
Yeah.
It's not
That was the one I always got.
yeah.
that's what
It's so if you're looking for a good safe option for your Super Bowl party, that's probably it.
Yeah,
it's something that's still going to have a little kick to it, but not not have people trying to rush to the sink to put their head under the faucet.
Yeah. No, 100%. Hangar's always very consistent. I was happy when they opened one in Agawam down the street from me. Very convenient. And yeah, they have a lot of variety, like you were saying, Chris, like especially with the dry rubs, the seasoning, all that. Like I would have people in my family, we'd each get a different one, so it was like based on their preference. So it's a good place to do that if you're looking for a lot of variety, a lot of different seasoning.
Of course they really do. They pump out a lot of a lot of volume in terms of the takeout business too.
Yeah.
So they're primed for that. So when you're planning your party and getting stuff to go, that it's something that's going to be prepared right. The one thing I'm a big fan of garlic. Period. Basically, when I'm cooking, most of the time, if something calls for, adding onion, I add garlic instead. So I'm that kind of person anyway. Same. So, but I'd say that's the one thing that I wish was a little bit different about their wings is the garlic parm doesn't quite do it for me. It's a dry rub. So it is much more of like the, garlic salt kind of thing as opposed to pure garlic, like minced garlic. And so that's something that is a little bit okay, but their wing size is always good. It's crispy, as you guys alluded to. And especially when you're doing takeout, I think getting those crispier kind of wings is definitely a benefit. But yeah, and I was a little bit, I wasn't totally sold on the Cajun teriyaki when we ordered it, but yeah, I was pleasantly surprised with that. I thought that it again had that that nice. It was a more complex flavor as opposed to you get a buffalo wing, what you're getting in terms of flavor. This was something that was a little bit richer. So I enjoyed the experience. We actually went to the new one in West Springfield, the one that just opened by what used to be the Hofbrauhaus or Hofbrau Joe's right there off of. It's on Main Street, but it's like right off of Memorial when you come right off the rotary by the Memorial Bridge.
Yep.
So if you get off the bridge and you take your immediate first right there, it's right there. It's kind of tucked in, but yeah. So I would, I still recommend the hangar. It's I think that the convenience in having so many locations is also a nice added bonus for it. So
absolutely. And I wanted to touch on this because I think this is what happened, but I believe they also owned Wings Over Springfield. Or I don't know if they still do or not, because I feel like I went there one time and the wings were not the same.
Yeah, there was some kind of affiliation at one point with Wings Over, and I don't know where that stands right now. I think that the Springfield store is not affiliated with the hangar.
Yeah.
But I also tried to look into the same kind of thing and couldn't really identify exactly what what the situation was, but it's definitely a different it's definitely a different kind of approach.
And the thing too is because I remember like back when I was working in Westfield, I would go to the hangar there and it would be like to the Wings Over, it used to be the same menu, so it was like the same whatever, but then now you look and it's different. So I was getting the same, obviously the cruise and altitude that we had discussed before, but I love the honey mustard wings that they have too. One of our friends threw us onto that. The only thing was I never really got wings from Wings Over. I was more like the boneless wings. That was like, I don't know, that was what we got. But
now my take on boneless wings is they're not wings.
It's chicken tender.
Yeah, it's chicken tenders with different marketing.
Yeah.
So they don't qualify as far as I'm concerned.
But you could still get a platter of those if you wanted to.
You could.
But just know that they're not really wings, they're tenders.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was always a big fan of their combos. I would get the onion rings and, but
So there were some other places that we didn't get to, or some other places that I just thought of that I wanted to kind of shout at as honorable mentions. And I don't know if you guys have a couple.
I do have a couple actually.
Okay. So go ahead. Why don't you start and then we'll circle around.
So one of the ones I wanted to mention, Hampden House. They have their Sicilian wings are very, very good. You probably wouldn't be able to get them catered or on a larger order like you would with some of these places, but anytime we go to the Hampden House, that's what we get for an appetizer. Those are very good. And one of the places I feel like we would be remiss not to mention is Evie's in Agawam.
Yeah, something mine.
Honestly, I'm not as familiar with their wings, but if you're looking for a place to order like a sampler of appetizers and stuff, this should be very high on the top of your list. Whether it's their chicken nuggets, their sampler is really good because it has the chicken nuggets. They have mozzarella sticks, I believe, with it too. Just a great thing to grab.
Yeah, I was gonna shout Evie's out as well because I living in Agawam my entire life, we would actually get Evie's some Super Bowls, and it is a great place if you are looking for like a party size type meal. Evie's has it. Like they have like 50 piece, 100 piece, 150 piece, so you could just get this huge container, which we did a couple of years. So I think if you are having like a large Super Bowl party and you're in the area, Evie's is good because they do cater for large events like that. So.
Yep. And I do have to mention the jalapeno poppers. We get those every single time, and they are so good.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned in the sides. You mentioned the tots before. We usually get tots. Like when we went to the hangar, we also got a thing of just regular tots. Because, But on top of everything else, sometimes if you're having something spicy, something potato or something like that,
100%.
Any others other than Evie's? I mean, of course, being from Agawam, you have to shout.
Yeah, I guess shout Evie's.
I think that it's part of the contract you sign when you live in Agawam, right?
Yeah, no, 100%.
Oh, the one thing I do have to mention about Evie's, they got to bring back their mac and cheese bites. Those things were so good back in the day.
Yeah. So if anybody's listening from Evie's,
please bring back mac and cheese bites. They are so good.
If we see like a Facebook post where they announce they're bringing them back, we got to take credit. I think we
take credit and be the first in line. But those were so good. I remember, like, first time I ever went to Eby's, this was probably like 2010, 2011. I tried the mac and cheese bites, and I was in heaven. But
yeah, that Eby's was the only other one I could think of. You guys, I mean, Hanger, I go to all the time, but, you know. So those are the big ones. There used to be a place in Springfield I go to that's not there anymore. Oh, I'll shout out Theodore's too in Springfield. I do like their wings. I you know, they get other items on their menu like mac and cheese, but their wings are very good. Another place has like a nice char. So
they do like a smoked wing or smoked or grilled.
It's more barbecue style. Yeah.
And I'm one who like I've got a smoker, so I'll smoke wings a lot, which is actually how my daughter got introduced to wings. So I'm pretty equal opportunity when it comes to either the crispy wing or you know something that's grilled or smoked. You know, and really that's where if anybody wants it, I've got a really nice garlic parm wing recipe. If you happen to have a smoker, especially, it's a nice blend of.
I might take you up on that.
Yeah,
my kitchen and
not to toot my own horn, but I may be making my own wings for the Super Bowl.
Not bad.
Another low key shout out, not necessarily a restaurant or a local thing, but the Costco wings, not bad. They're like if you're looking for something like you just want some wings, like just to heat up for a party, can't go wrong with those.
Right, I like that. Yeah.
So I've got a couple of shout outs as well for places that maybe aren't the places that you would cater a party, but if you're looking to watch the game and just have a handful of wings or something like that, White Lion has really good wings as part of their kitchen menu.
Okay.
And they used to, I don't know if they still do, but they used to have a to-go option where you could order online and get food to go. They have their buffalo-ish wings, which is kind of like that spicy with a little bit more sweet, a little bit more character to it is one that we really like. They do have a good garlic parm that, you know, actually has like, you know, we're talking real Parmesan cheese, you know, minced garlic, you know, doing it right as far as I'm concerned. You know, so I would shout them out as well. Also, you know, if you happen to be having dinner on Super Bowl Sunday, you're going out and you're not necessarily going to a party or looking for a crowd, I would say Nadim's in downtown Springfield, their wings are very, very good. It's basically like they have their own kind of wing that is, you know, basically it's a fried wing that they have garlic, cilantro, some lemon juice. I've tried them a couple of times at events that they've catered and they've been terrific. So those are a couple that I would recommend. One more is also Vanish Valley Brewing in Ludlow has wood-fired wings. You know, they've got the pizza oven where they, you know, do wood-fired pizzas. They also cook their wings in that oven as well. And they have a sweet chili wing there that is just really great. And you're talking about, you know, it's got the char, it's got some great flavor. When we're talking about the mess factor, though, those are messy wings. So those are a few that I wanted to shout out as well.
So grab a roll of paper towels then.
That's some wet napkins, too.
Yeah, wet napkins. Yeah.
That's funny. All right, so now, I mean, wrapping up this episode, I mean, yeah, we're recording this right around lunchtime. So I think that we're struggling a little bit now with what to say, but I think that we're in a very good spot in Western Massachusetts for wings. You know, there are plenty of places, regardless of what area you're in, where you can find something that is going to satisfy you here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. A lot of different sensibilities too, different wing styles, different variety, different seasoning. You know, so I think there's something for everything. Yeah, you know,
all of them do different flavors too. Like you'll get different variations on the same flavor, but also like mix and match, like a buffalo teriyaki or the Cajun teriyaki that you mentioned as well. So. plenty of options.
Yeah, the great thing about wings is how versatile they can be.
Yep.
You know, I mean, you can get really traditional with them. You can really get creative as well.
Yep.
And they can be a snack. They can be dinner. You know, I mean, it's all kinds of different options for you.
Yeah, like I said, tater tots and wings. That was a dinner for me one night. Like,
yeah. Yep.
Same here.
All right. So, and also, if you have wing places that you would like to mention, recommend to us, to shout out, you can certainly let us know. Email us, news@thereminder.com.
Absolutely.
And we'd love to hear. We'd love to compile more of a list. We do try to have some employee lunches and such, so we're always open.
Yeah.
Always open to suggestions.
Yeah, absolutely.
No idea. I know. I was looking at the Yelp, and just looking at a list of wing places. There's even stuff I've never heard of. So I'm sure people won't, reach out if they try one of these places I'm looking at. Then
I'm sure there are a lot of hidden gems in there that that we haven't discovered yet. So,
100%.
All right, and with that said, everybody, I hope that you enjoy your wings this Super Bowl Sunday, and I guess we don't really have to be all that objective here.
No.
So,
No.
Go
I was
Pats.
literally about to say
Patriots,
go Pats. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
It's a good thing actually that it was just the three of us and we didn't
Have Tyler.
Yeah.
Tyler, our poor suffering resident Jets fan.
Yeah.
Tyler. Yeah. I remember asking him about the Jets one time this year, and he was just like, I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Whatever happens. I was like, I feel you.
Every year is just another another just sense of defeat almost right off the bat.
Yeah.
But that's why we should always try to treat people with as much compassion as possible, because you don't know what they're going through.
Yeah, we don't know.
Could be a Jets fan,
or a Browns fan, or a Bills fan.
Yeah, or a Bills fan now. Yeah.
Yep. Speaking of Pats, my I Heart Drake May shirt came in.
Oh, excellent!
So
nice.
that was nice. I got that right before the snowstorm.
I think I showed you guys that Mass Live did a story on a company out in eastern Massachusetts that was doing Drake May coffee.
Yes, yeah.
So that is on its way to my house.
Nice.
Hopefully we'll be here before Super Bowl Sunday. So Super Bowl Sunday, I'll be sipping on some Wake with Drake and out of my Patriots mug while wearing my Mike Vrabel jersey.
Yep.
Because yes, I have a vintage Mike Vrabel Patriots jersey from his playing days.
My dad has a Teddy Bruschi one, and my jersey that I wear is Edelman. But
they should have Ann Michael send some of the baked goods with the coffee or something. That should
But did you see that with
should
the JetBlue flights?
come with it.
Out to Denver.
Yeah.
No,
So JetBlue partnered with Drake May's wife to have cookies given out to everybody on flights from Boston.
Oh, I
to
did
Denver
see that
no
weekend.
kidding.
Yeah.
That's fun.
That's cool. I did see that.
All right. Well, we could talk about this for another, but as we mentioned,
It's
lunchtime.
Yes, it
and
sure
we've
is.
just been talking about wings for an hour. So we're going to let you go. Thanks, everybody, for listening to this episode of So That Reminds Me. And we'll see you again in 2 weeks.
Yep. Take care, everyone.
Go Pats.
Thanks for listening to So That Reminds Me, produced by Western Massachusetts news source Reminder Publishing. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, find the latest news at thereminder.com, and follow Reminder Publishing on Instagram at Reminder Publishing, on X at The Reminder MA, and on Facebook. Reminder Publishing, we are hometown news.